Hey everybody, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is the Star. Looks like there's some healing that's happening here. For some of you, you may be receiving something. It looks like you're out on the other side of a shift that you've made that you're working within. And I'm seeing you be at a point where it's not something that you want to relinquish. It feels too like you're... There could have been an idea that you had that was centered around like fulfillment and happiness, and it looks like you're in a spot where you may be like updating what that means for you, or you may have updated what that means for you, and that may be part of something that you're currently working on right now. Meaning there could have been something that you had an idea about in the past where you were like, I think that this thing is gonna make me happy to do, or like those sorts of things, or like I want that thing. And you could be at a point where you've been updating, or you're going to be updating like your perception of that, because you know it's like as we grow, sometimes the things that we want change, and sometimes our ideas about like what is going to bring happiness to us, or where we're going to find that, like those things change too. And so it feels like stuff that's connected with that is happening. And it's happening through the healing that you're doing. Because I'm seeing the Star and I'm seeing the Three of Swords here. And the Star is about like hope and faith and feeling like we're aligned with our sense of purpose. And it's about our dreams and the visions that we have for our future. And it's about us minding our business. I see the Star card as being part of that. And I mean that in like the truest sense of like focusing on yourself and staying in your lane, that sort of thing. And then to have the Three of Swords here, there can be stuff that's coming up that's related to pain and also related to healing. Two sides of the same coin. And also the Star card does talk about healing as well. So to have that and to have the Three of Swords, it looks like through the way that you're orienting yourself upon your path, that there's also like healing that's being addressed simultaneously. That's maybe freeing yourself in a way that you felt chained to something before, or like you didn't have as much of a say in it. Feels too like there's self-understanding that's happening as well. You're making progress with something that had been very challenging in the past for you. That's not to say it's not still challenging, but it looks like you've come a long way. I'm seeing that there's somebody that's going to be reaching out to you, but this is not immediate. This is going to be happening a little bit later down the line. For some reason, this is coming through now. It looks like somebody wants to talk about something that's... They want something clarified. This can also be you reaching out to someone too. You can be making progress with talking about your feelings as well. So if this is you, there may be somebody that you're reaching out to. I don't know like who's who. It's all going to depend for each of you. Like some of you could be reaching out to someone. For some of you, someone else is going to be reaching out to you. The conversation is going to be someone coming through to another person, wanting to talk about their feelings and also wanting something to be clarified as well that they're unclear on. So that's what I'm seeing the conversation is going to center around. And it feels like that conversation is also associated with big changes within like a relationship of sorts. And it can also be about where things are going too. Because it seems like whatever it was that you had with this person, it's like turning into something very different. And that may also be why there's like a desire for things to be clarified as well. That can also be something. It can also be discussions that are happening now that are associated with things that will be like implemented in the future too, like that type of thing. Or like, how is this going to impact us later on? And it seems to like figuring out what you want, because what I'm seeing is that, so there's wanting to talk about something because there's a lack of clarity. It looks like on a big emotional level that there's stuff like going on, and one is trying to work out how it is that they feel, but there's this feeling of like, I need to share about this, or I need to have a conversation about this in order for it to make sense. But there may be some difficult topics that are included within this, like maybe some stuff that would feel challenging to address. And it's also related to, it seems like a discussion now about future things, or about the progression of things and where that's going to. And also, it seems like there's an awareness that things are not going to stay the way that they are now, but that there are changes that are taking place too that impact. It seems like whatever it is that you have going on with this person, I'm not labeling it because I'm sure each of you have like your own idea of like what this is called and whatever, but it looks very much like something going on between two people, like a relationship of sorts. Or like a living situation of sorts, or like a commitment of sorts, that type of thing. So discussion, looking for clarity, difficult stuff to talk about. It seems like that's also mixed up in this. Connected with where things are going, future stuff that may not be happening now, but is going to be happening later on, potentially. And also too, there's this feeling of having this Four of Cups here can be like, there are changes that are happening within a relationship, again, potentially, because this feels like we're talking about future things. So it may not be like changes that are happening right now. This can be like, I know that when we, I don't know, like 6 months from now, this thing is going to change. And so that's going to change things, you know? It feels like there's an awareness that there's going to be a transition and that that's going to change things or impact things. There's going to be like something like that that's happening. And I'm seeing it be connected with something that you have going on. So it's like, let's talk about this because I'm trying to figure out how I feel about it, about what's happening, or what's going to be happening. And I'm also seeing Four of Cups here too. So somebody can be like getting cold feet, or there can be this feeling of like, I don't know if I want that. That's popping up here. But is this like, I don't want the relationship, or is this like, I don't want the changes? Is this like I'm still gonna be here, but I'm not feeling like super happy about the fact that there's gonna be a transitioning happening. Because it's not like a total denial or like a complete pushing away or like a complete closing out. It's more so like I'm not really feeling this process right now. Like I don't really like what's going on here. So there can just be a, I don't feel like I'm in the space to be holding space for this. Like that sort of thing. Or like I don't know if I want that. And that may be too like why the conversation is important to be had, because something needs to be clarified here. And I'm definitely seeing there be a bit of resistance. Like somebody maybe not feeling completely on board with participating in something. This looks like a relationship choice that's coming up. Looking for answers. Either way, it seems like wow. Okay, hold on. Some of you, this is going to be a conversation that's coming up. It's not happening right now. But it's like going to get triggered somehow. Yeah, there are mixed feelings that are associated specifically like between people is what I'm seeing. Regardless of like whatever else is going on within your relationship. It's like the mixed feelings seem like it's specifically potentially connected with like the dynamic. But I feel like all of this is being kicked off because of future things that are not happening right now. This feels like the topic of discussion is not about present things. It's not about current things. It's about like distant things or like something in the future, but it feels like it's about something that you may know is going to happen. Like, let's just use an example. Like, let's say that you're in a relationship with somebody and one of the people are pregnant within it, and so it's like in a certain amount of time we know that a baby's going to be here. So like in a certain amount of time you know a transition is going to be happening and that things are going to change because of that. So it's like that sort of thing where it's like the baby isn't here now, but the baby's going to be here later. So there's a conversation happening now about something that is going to be happening, and it feels like very sure that this thing is going to be happening. Of like, I know that things are not going to be the same after that. And it feels like there's a discussion that's coming up that's connected with this. It seems too like there's a desire for things to not be, maybe the push away is for things getting too complicated. Like there can be a desire to keep things simple. I'm seeing Aquarius and I'm seeing Scorpio here. Something is being... It actually looks like a big decision is potentially coming up if one chooses to go in that direction. But there may be a vibe of feeling unsure where one wants to go right now. It's like we can take it there or we don't have to take it there. It's like that sort of thing. I'm seeing Hermit and I'm also, this is Virgo. I'm seeing Hermit and I'm also seeing the Hanged Man, which means that there's something that you're reflecting on, and it feels like you're just at the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the information. Like, you don't have everything, you can't come to a conclusion yet. Having Hanged Man here shows that like something is in the process of being developed as far as like an understanding or conclusion, but we're not at that point where that can happen yet. So things are still coming to light essentially, and so you're not at a point where you can like make a call yet. And you could even feel like there's a need for you to recharge in order to go back into this and figure the rest of it out. Because you could feel like, for some reason, you may be feeling something needs to be caught up on. Like, I don't know what exactly it is, but it's something that, like, once you catch up on it, you're going to be able to come back into this and, like, finish it. But it feels like maybe half the process is done, and you're going to need to take a step back, catch up in whatever way this is that you need to catch up, and then come back into it. Because it feels like needing to like recharge or something like that. Or it can be like reviewing something, so you feel like you're caught up on like what's going on, or like processing or something like that. That sort of thing. So I don't know if the deal is like you feel like there's something to express, but then like not wanting to say something. Or somebody coming through wanting to have a conversation with you and then you not wanting to get into it. There's something about that where it's like there's either a feeling of like I should be sharing this right now, but I don't really want to. Or like you're telling me this right now and I don't really want to have this discussion. It's something like that where it's like there's this feeling of energy and you think it's going to go out, but then there's not like a reception to that. And it feels like it's about something that would potentially be like a challenging topic to be discussing, because I'm seeing there be 3 of Swords would mean that there's some type of pain potentially that would be coming up. So that's why it can be avoiding talking about it, because it's like that's going to hurt to have that conversation. And I'm trying to like understand things now. And it feels too like there's pain, there's also a lack of clarity, and it also comes down to a connection that you have with another person. It's about the progression of things, and it also seems about like future related changes that are going to be occurring, and needing to take the time to understand these things more than anything, especially from like an intellectual standpoint, because we have Queen of Swords here. So this is about someone just like looking at facts in front of them, or looking at information in like a pretty unbiased way, actually, because that's what the Queen of Swords would do. So it's like, let's take emotion out of this for a minute and actually review like what this means is going to be happening, and what that looks like. And it seems like this is all centered around a dynamic that you have, or like some type of system that you have going on within your life. You may also be at a point where you're like trying to problem solve and be like, how can we get this to work as best as possible? Or how could we keep this moving in a way that feels like harmonious as far as like the inner workings of things, so it's doing what it needs to, so it's functioning properly. The thing is, though, that it feels like I get this feeling again of like catching up that needs to be done. And that can even be like having a conversation to catch up. You know, it can be, I need to catch up on sleep. I need to catch up on work. I need us to catch up. I need to catch up on processing. So many different things that this could be here, but something is not in place to move forward yet. Something else has to happen is what I'm seeing. You know, that seems maybe a bit vague, but I'm seeing you be in like a bit of a standstill while something else catches up. There's, again, something about catching up that's happening here. But it seems like it's gonna allow for things to like settle into place in some way. Okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.